Have you ever wondered why there are no wireless earbuds with a customizable look on the market? Well, I certainly have, and if you have too, then you might find the adjustable LED lights and the easily swappable shells on the HHOGene GPods worthy of your attention. Hi, my name is Andy, and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. But before we get into discussing all the colorful details, pun intended, I have to tell you that the manufacturer and I teamed up for making this video for you. But sponsoring the content does not mean that they either got preview privileges or any sort of control over what I say about their product. So as always, I'm only sharing my honest and unfiltered thoughts with you guys. And my thought process when they first got in touch with me was like, hey, I might not be the target audience of such earbuds myself, but I truly appreciate the out-of-the-box thinking. And with the GPods, I do not only like the basic idea of putting customizable LEDs and removable shells on the earbuds, but I also found the execution to be more sophisticated than I thought it would be. So other than these novelties, what we have here is a set of earbuds which might look like any other STEM-style design buds at around the $140 price point. Glossy black plastic body with silicone ear tips at a weight of around 5.5 grams each. We also get an excellent build quality and a comfortable fit. And even though the GPods are more of a fashion statement than a rugged gym accessory by design, they can handle everyday fitness duties with ease thanks to the IPX4 rating and the snug fit. Using the medium-sized tips, the buds sit securely in my ears, so I can do some very free jogging or basic weightlifting even with the shells on. And there are 4 different sets of ear tips in the box for you to find the proper fit for your ears too. And if you decide to wear these earbuds in the gym, I can guarantee you one more thing, and that's the attention of your fellow gym members. And yes, it means that I finally get to the main event, which is discussing those RGB lights. So we get LED panels built into the side of the stems, which you can adjust and customize in more ways than you can imagine. According to the manufacturer, there are over 300,000 color combinations you can choose from, including a bunch of impressive looking presets in the companion app. You can also pick a color for each of the 6 LED lights individually, creating your own signature look of sorts. And inside the app, which is available on both Android and iOS, you can also choose from different light modes such as the ripple effect or a pulsing pattern, both of which will follow the rhythm of the music you are listening to. There is also a breathing mode, but it's going to have its own pace independent from your tunes. With the slider you can adjust the brightness of the LEDs, and of course you can completely turn the lights off. On top of all these, you can use a photo, which the AI will scan for a color scheme, and the lights on the earbuds will match the colors of that picture. You can set up a separate color for your incoming phone calls, and you can remotely turn on the lights to help you find the earbuds. Of course, you can use the usual beeping sound as well to find your GPods, but that's something other earbuds can do too. And before moving on to the other custom design element, the replaceable shells, I have to mention 2 things regarding the LEDs. One, the flickering of the lights you might see on some of the B-roll is not visible to the human eye, it's only something that shows up on cameras. So in real life, the LEDs have a nice and even light, but I found them a nightmare to film. And caveat number 2 is the fact that the lights are barely visible outside even on a day with a fairly thick and even cloud cover, let alone a bright and sunny one. You have to be at least in an open shadow area for the colors to show, but if you really want them to pop, you better be somewhere inside. The less ambient light, the better. And now let's see the swappable plastic shells which cover the LED lights. The buds come with a clear plastic cap by default, but you can snap on another one anytime to change the look of your GPods and maybe match it to your mood. And there are plenty different designs to choose from. You can order extra shells from within the smartphone app or from the HHOGene online store for $20 a set. Or as another option, you can buy the premium set, which comes with 4 sets of extra covers. The price of the premium set is usually $200, but as of making this video, it's down to $180. For actual prices, please check out the links in the description. Now on to the more common features, let's see the battery life of the GPods. The official specs claim that the single charge play time can vary between 3 and 5 hours depending on the use of the lights and the active noise cancellation. And during my own tests, where I used an Android phone with the AAC codec at around 50% volume and both the ANC and the lights were turned on, I got 4 hours and 37 minutes. That's a rather average battery performance. The case can fully recharge the buds about 3 times, and we can also quick charge the buds in 10 minutes to gain an extra 2 hours of use time. There is no Qi wireless charging support, but you get a standard USB Type-C connector on the back of the case. And talking about the case, it is a bit on the large side of things, so it's not quite pocket-friendly at all, unless of course we talk about huge jacket pockets, for example. But the case has an excellent build quality with a solid hinge and a nice matte black coating all around, which is almost soft to the touch. I like that little curve or wave, if you will, in the lid too. Next up is connection. The wireless chip inside the GPods is Bluetooth 5.2 compliant with support for the SBC and the AAC audio codecs. No high-res codecs and no multi-point use, but the buds can be used independently from one another as mono mode is supported. I had no lip sync issues with videos, and while the latency is low enough for casual gaming, there is no low latency mode which you could turn on in the app. But there are a few other options and settings in that app. We talked about the lights and all the related settings already, but we also get ambient mode controls and 4 EQ presets on the main page. However, there is no chance to tweak those presets manually, and you cannot create custom sound profiles either. In the settings menu you can find the firmware updates, the Find My GPods option, the in-ear detection switch for the autoplay pose, and the settings for the fully remappable touch controls. From the buds you can control some functions including play, pause, tracks or ambient modes, and you can even turn the lights on and off. But volume controls have become a victim of the LED lights, as there was simply no room left for such controls to be crammed into the stems. Voice assistant activation is missing too. Another downside of the unique design is that the small touch-sensitive interfaces were moved from the side panels to the front at the bottom of the stem. I personally find it a bit difficult to reach, and even if I can hit the right spot, the panels are not the most accurate or the most reliable when it comes to registering my taps. But it can be just me and my clumsy little fingers, and you may have a much better experience with the touch controls yourself. And maybe the sensitivity of the touch panels can be fixed with a firmware upgrade in the future, so let's just hope they are working on it. Another area where the engineers could have put a tad more work in is the active noise cancellation. We get 3 ambient modes: ANC on, transparency and ANC off. To toggle through these modes, you can use either the smartphone app or the touch controls. But if I'm completely honest, turning on the ANC only makes a small difference in terms of blocking out surrounding noises. Noise cancellation is nowhere near as good as that of the top dogs or even most competitors from the same price bracket. Of course, we get some attenuation across most of the audible spectrum, and the GPods do a decent job with the low end and maybe with the mid frequencies too, but higher pitch noises are not really filtered out that much at all. Transparency mode has good clarity, even if it's ever so slightly muffled across the mid-range, which can affect speech intelligibility, and we don't get a selectable voice or conversation mode. Wind noise handling is rather average, and there is no wind noise reduction or outdoor mode in the app. So in short, this ANC performance is far from being remarkable. The only real positive I can say about the ANC is that when switching between the different ambient modes, there is no noticeable change in the sound signature of the earbuds. And since I brought up the sound signature of the GPods, let's talk about it next. And the good news is that when it comes to listening to your favorite tunes, the 10mm polymer composite dynamic drivers can deliver all the goodies. The sound is quite balanced with more than enough punch at the low end and the proper amount of sparkle up top. The bass is well controlled and well tuned. It's lean with no excess energy to slow things down. The upper bass does not bleed into the mid-range, and partly thanks to that fact, vocals and acoustic instruments do not sound underpowered or overshadowed at all, which lends an open and tonally balanced character to the sound. We also get excellent clarity across the mids and the highs. Treble rolls off gently just to avoid being shrill or overexcited. The sound stage is wide enough and the imaging is precise enough too, both are a touch above average, I guess. However, the level of separation is definitely much better than average. Maximum volume is not the loudest I have heard, but it's plenty loud for me at around 80-ish% already. As I said it before, you can find a basic EQ with 4 presets in the app, but they don't do much at all, so if you want to play around with the sound of the buds, I would suggest using third-party apps. I personally did not feel the urge to tweak the sound that much at all, as I found it to be a close match to my own musical taste. It's snappy, energetic, balanced, detailed, and also airy enough, which is exactly where I can find my happy place when chilling with music. And before I draw my final conclusion on the GPods, here is a quick audio sample from the built-in microphones on the HHOGene GPods. So this is the audio quality you can expect from these earbuds when making a phone call in a quiet environment.
And to turn things up a notch, here is a much more challenging scenario. I'm outside now with some heavy traffic noise and also strong wind, and it's already started to rain. But regardless, this is how the microphones can cope with the elements on the HHOGene GPods.
And to conclude this video, I would say that HHOGene is spot on with the GPods as far as uniqueness and freshness are concerned. These are not your everyday earbuds in terms of design, which can easily be a conversation starter anytime you run into someone while wearing the buds. And the manufacturer also nailed the basics. The sound is great and so is the overall build quality and comfort. On the other hand, the ANC and the controls might need some work, and the single charge playtime is not the most impressive either, but I reckon that during those 4 or 5 hours of use, you will get more looks from people around you than ever before. So if you are tired of those white AirPods-like stems or those boring black buds everyone else is using, just turn on the lights or pop on a cool new shell on your GPods and you can easily stand out from the crowd. And this is where today's video ends. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have any questions or comments to make, please feel free to do so. Thanks for watching. See you next time.